Hello, folks. This is Anthony once again from our channel, Honda Snowblower Enthusiast. Today, I want to show you the mistake that a lot of people are making when they're checking their oil on their Honda Snowblower that can result in engine damage or worse, a blown engine. So, let me show you really quick on the mistakes that a lot of people are making. First of all, let's get through this shop here. Uh, it's a mess of usual. Here's my 724 that I'm rebuilding the engine on. What am I doing to this? Oh, I'm going to try that new. I cleaned the carburetor on this 1132. Here's the 828 that we've been servicing in our series on how to service a snowblower. All right, let me show you what I mean here. You don't want this to happen. This is a blown engine, GX from a 724. I've got two or three other blown engines. And each case, the owner told me, he says, well, I checked the oil and there was oil on the dipstick, so I thought I was okay. Well, that's the problem. Let me show you. Here's what happened to this one. It blew the rod on the piston, and I'm going to rebuild it. But this is, all of you's got cars with a dipstick on a car. Most cars take 4 or 5 quarts of oil, and these are your marks on your car dipstick. That's the low mark. That's the high mark. As long as it falls in there, you're okay, right? And even if it's showing at the bottom of the dipstick, you still have almost 4 quarts of oil in the engine. But that's not the case with a Honda snowblower. Most engines, like this engine here, is from a 724, and it only takes less than 2/3 of a quart, the total oil capacity. This 828 with the 8 horsepower engine, 9 horsepower engines, 11 horsepower engines, they take 1.16 quarts of oil. That's all it takes, a little over a quart. So when you're checking your oil and you're seeing oil down here on the dipstick, that's dangerously low. Even halfway up, I don't like. You're asking for trouble. Anywhere down here, you're asking for trouble because you're down. Your oil is down like a half a quart, and the engine's gonna run very hot, and it's gonna cause excessive engine damage over time, and then you could possibly blow it. Like in this case here on this 724. Here's the dipstick on the 724. The oil was showing on the bottom of the stick. So, and this 724 only takes 0.63 quarts. I mean, that's less than 2/3 of a quart when it's up to the here. So down here, I mean, I was surprised that it was even running when it blew. So down here, you're asking for trouble. It's too low. Now, on the Honda Shop manual, one of the members and subscribers pointed out that in the manual it shows that this is the lower limit. I don't think so. I think that's the danger limit, is from halfway up, down. You could be in trouble. So I don't know why they say that's the lower limit. I mean, you're running on practically ounces of oil, not very many. So let me show you this. I already showed you the car dipstick. It's not the same on this dipstick here. So when you're checking your oil, I don't want to fall here. You don't screw it in all the way. You just push it in. You just put the stick in like that, and then pull it out and read it. You see how it's almost to the top? It's brand new oil, so it's very, very clear, but it's almost to the top here. And you can see the oil right here. You see where the oil, you can see it. That's where it should be. You fill it up all the way to the edge. And what I do when I check my oil, as long as I can see oil, then I know I'm okay. I can check the oil too. And then you want to make sure it's up there near the top. Now, when I fill the oil on a, change the oil on a machine, I put the I put the funnel in the other side, see, and then I can fill it up and I can watch it until it gets to the end here. And then I know I'm good. I don't want to overfill it and have it, pouring out. Overfilling an engine is almost as bad as underfilling it. That's what I've heard. Anyways, you don't screw it in. You just check it, and then I eyeball it. If I eyeball it and make sure I can see the oil. Now, there's always one exception to the rule, and that's on a 724. Here's the dipstick for the 724. Let's get over to this bad boy over here that blew up on this guy. On the 724 HS, I'm not talking about the HSS models because I don't have one to show you. So this has got a long funnel from the engine. So when you check it, you don't screw it in, you put it to the edge here, and then you check your stick. It's a little bit low. You can see the ribs. Can you see the ribs on the end of the stick? You don't want to fill it. You don't want to fill it all the way up here. I see that a lot on the HS724s. It's overfilled. If you remove the plug on the other side, it's just going to pour out. So on the 724 is the only exception that I know of. You just fill it up to the top of those ribs right there, and then you're good. But that's the only exception to this rule, I believe. The main point I'm trying to get is that a lot of people think that as long as they see an oil on the stick, they think they're okay. And that's just not the case. I hear it all the time. And, I've had hundreds of machines in my shop here. And the first thing I do before I start the engine is I check the oil. And 9 times out of 10, it's low. People get complacent on their oil. It says, well, it doesn't burn oil. It doesn't leak oil. I said, when's the last time you checked it? I said, I don't know. So when I check it, it's way down on the stick. And I says, well, you're lucky it hasn't blown up yet. So I see it all the time. Almost every machine I check is low. It's got the half up on the stick. So you're looking at maybe a half a quart in the engine. Do you really think that's good for a small engine? No, it's not. So learn how to check this oil correctly on your Honda snowblowers so you'll have them last much, much longer. These engines, excuse me, these GX engines are practically bulletproof. You just keep oil on them. Fresh oil, clean oil, and make sure that the level is up there at the edge like I showed you, and you should be good to go for years and years. Thank you very much for watching. If you think this video helped you, please like and subscribe, and have a great weekend.